The deadline for Governor Newsom to sign a record number of bills has passed.
I Rod, I Rubio, I Ciarto, no Skinner.
Many of these bills absolutely died in the face of industry opposition.
7 on Your Side is following the money and the votes behind them.
And Stephanie Sierra is investigating why key pieces of legislation aiming to hold insurance companies accountable failed in this case, and Steph is here with what she's learned.
Yeah, there's a lot to go through. We tracked dozens of insurance-related bills that were discussed during or voted on this legislative session, and we found a clear discrepancy between the bills that passed versus those that didn't. Money and the interests of insurance companies.
California's insurance crisis is reaching a breaking point. It's forcing a record number of consumers to the California Fair Plan, the state's insurer of last resort. It's called that for a reason.
The premium has increased 1,000%.
It's very unfortunate.
It's shocking.
We don't know what the alternative would be.
Yet, if you look closely at the law, the state's plan promises to assure stability, availability, and provide equitable distribution.
We pay over half of our mortgage on insurance.
Our insurer of 20 years dropped us.
They're not coming back. State Farm has said it does not need to insure one more policyholder.
Instead, consumers are facing wraparound policies offering inflated rates and limited coverage.
At least 7 of the state's insurers that made up 85% of the market dropped out of California or restricted issuing new policies, leading to 1,000 people forced to join the California Fair Plan each day.
Let that sink in. The state's emergency provider saw a 22% increase in policies last year alone and has more than doubled since its inception in 2019. It's no secret the problem is getting worse. The question is, what are the people we elected doing about it?
Insurance has become a massive cost issue.
7 on Your Side investigates, tracked at least 32 insurance-related bills that were discussed or voted on this session. Among them, we found a clear discrepancy between the bills that passed versus those that didn't. Money and the interests of insurance companies.
There's nothing standing in the way of the companies getting their rate hikes.
For example, of the handful of bills that passed, all of them either had support from insurance companies or benefited the California Department of Insurance with procedural or technical changes for insurers. One bill that passed addressing the insurance crisis is State Senator Susan Rubio's SB 505 that aims to reduce the number of Fair Plan policies with a clearinghouse program,
which will encourage more policies to shift back over to the admitted commercial market.
It is not a threat to the insurance industry in any way. That's why it passed.
Meanwhile, the other 5 bills that either aim to lower insurance costs or increase transparency for consumers all failed. Most were met with opposition from the insurance industry.
This bill would only add additional strain on insurers. For these reasons, we are in respectful opposition.
SB 1229 would have required insurance companies to disclose to an applicant if AI was used to make decisions on their application or claim. It failed.
Additionally, insurers are particularly concerned about the potential scope of the disclosures and any additional burden to their business model.
The complaint from the insurance industry that a consumer protection is too burdensome is simply code for we don't want to provide that information.
We should expect companies to let us know what they're doing with our information.
State Senator Caballero, who represents parts of the Central Valley, voted no.
Senator, why did you vote against this bill?
I have an area that's rural and agricultural, and people earn low salaries. And one of the biggest concerns they have is the inability to be able to buy a house because you need insurance. And so anything that's going to cause a disruption to the insurance industry right now, I'm very careful about.
Consumer advocates argue this bill aimed to increase transparency. Do you agree that was the intention?
You know, you're asking me to remember what happened in a hearing that was a number of months ago. Transparency is good, but just for transparency's sake, that doesn't do you any good if there's no insurance companies left that are willing to give you a policy.
What do you say to critics who argue some of these decisions are being too lenient to the sides of insurance companies?
I think it's a balancing act.
7 on Your Side found Senator Caballero received more than $1 million from finance, insurance, and real estate industries since elected to the state assembly in 2006, the most out of any of her colleagues serving on the Senate Insurance Committee. That's according to our analysis of data compiled by Follow the Money.
Have you ever felt influenced by the insurance industry?
I vote what's in the best interests of people in my district. I'm proud of the fact that I'm very responsive to the issues that they're concerned about.
Caballero.
Senator Caballero was the only senator absent for a vote on Bill AB 970, which aimed to create a series of pilot projects to reduce coverage gaps in high fire and flood risk areas.
This bill seeks to rectify this by closing insurance protection gaps.
It had overwhelming support in both the Senate and Assembly, but it was vetoed by Governor Gavin Newsom. He cited budget restraints. According to a statement from his veto message, Newsom said, "While I support the author's goal to expand insurance options in communities where climate risks are currently underinsured, this bill creates a significant state reimbursable mandate and new cost pressures in the millions of dollars that should be considered in the annual budget process." North Bay Senator Bill Dodd co-authored the bill.
Well, certainly the governor's been consistent on vetoing bills that bring any cost into our state budget. That said, hopefully he can be creative enough in next year's budget to put this in that budget. We've got almost $3 billion in our fire resiliency budget.
Records show the governor has received more than $10 million from finance, insurance, and real estate industries, according to Follow the Money. That makes up 62% of all the money he's received while in office.
Secretary, please read.
Meanwhile, two other bills that would have required insurance companies to factor in mitigation efforts passed their respective committees, and the Senate bill even passed a floor vote.
Respectfully ask for my vote.
The measure passes.
But State Senator Josh Becker pulled it because he said it didn't have the votes. Becker received more than $417,000 from finance, insurance, and real estate industries, according to Follow the Money. Senator Caballero was absent for that vote, too.
And frankly, by the time it got to the Assembly, Becker's bill was seriously watered down in response to industry complaints.
The 7 lawmakers that make up the Senate Insurance Committee received a combined total of more than $3.5 million while in office from finance, insurance, and real estate industries. That's according to 7 on Your Side's analysis of a report filed by Follow the Money. 4 of them received more than $500,000 from those industries, including Senator Dodd.
Insurance companies may want to push us one way or the other. We have to do what we think is best for the overall market. I don't think money has anything to do with with my votes.
Meanwhile, the 15 lawmakers who make up the Assembly Insurance Committee received a combined total while in office of more than $6 million from those industries. 6 of them received more than $500,000. Assemblymember Blanca Rubio received the most, with more than $1 million.
Does the influence of huge campaign contributions from the industry raise questions for the voters? Absolutely, because it's hard to believe that massive dollars in campaign chests don't equate to favorable action for the industry. The public has every right to ask those questions.
Another bill that aims to increase transparency with the California Fair Plan by adding members to its governing committee also did not pass this session. It's currently stalled in committee. Now, among the bills that did not pass, we will be tracking to see if they resurface next session.
Feels like the system's rigged against the consumers.
Very serious questions. Yeah, there's a lot more digging to be done, that's for sure.
Well,
consumers are not donating all that money.
Well, yeah, exactly. Yes, I'm aware because I'm one of them. Thank you, Steph.
Of course.
Thank you.
All right.